Crop circles is a weird one.
So weird.
It's a weird one because when I first saw them, I'm like, what is that? And then I saw that these guys were doing them with boards and string. I was like, oh, it's just people being silly.
When Elon Musk's Grok AI,
Grok 4, this is the latest artificial intelligence system,
analyzed a mysterious German crop circle, it returned 7 words that nobody expected.
Crop circles are basically features, designs, illustrations of high complexity in crop.
The machine didn't offer theories or probabilities. It delivered a translation with absolute certainty, linking the pattern to Earth's collapsing electromagnetic systems and predicting future events with disturbing accuracy. The discovery that started everything. July 19, 2014 began like any other summer morning in Bavaria. Hot air balloonists drifted peacefully over the wheat fields near Reisting, a quiet village in southern Germany. Then someone looked down and saw something that shouldn't exist. A massive geometric pattern stretched across the golden wheat, 75 meters in diameter, perfectly formed overnight without any witnesses, without any sound, without any explanation. The formation consisted of 3 concentric rings, arranged with mathematical precision that made professional surveyors uncomfortable. The spacing between rings followed exact ratios, the curves maintained perfect symmetry, and the entire structure aligned to celestial north with accuracy that required sophisticated equipment to achieve. Farmers who had worked these fields for generations had never seen anything created with such precision, certainly not in a single night. What made experts particularly uneasy was what the formation lacked. No footprints led into the field. No tire tracks marked the access roads. No broken stalks indicated where humans had walked or worked. The wheat inside the rings lay bent at precise angles, still alive and growing, not crushed or damaged, as would happen if people had trampled through. Forensic teams found no physical evidence of human presence despite searching for days. The mathematical relationships embedded in the design went beyond simple geometry. The rings followed Fibonacci progression ratios, the same sequence that appears in spiral galaxies, nautilus shells, and flower petals. The spacing used the golden ratio of 1.618, a proportion that humans instinctively find beautiful and that appears throughout nature and classical architecture. The alignment accuracy measured within 1/8 of a degree. Precision that surveyors normally achieve only with laser equipment and careful planning. The location added another layer of strangeness to the discovery. The formation appeared less than 3 kilometers from the Reisting Satellite Earth Station, a massive communication facility built in 1964. This station had played a crucial role in broadcasting the Apollo 11 moon landing to the world, maintaining one of the most sophisticated antenna arrays in Europe. The proximity to space communication technology seemed too deliberate to be coincidental. As news spread, thousands of visitors descended on the quiet village. Some came as tourists, others as pilgrims believing they had found evidence of something beyond human creation. Farmer Christoph Huttner, who owned the field, found himself overwhelmed by trespassers and demanded compensation for his damaged crops. Scientists arrived with sensitive equipment, detecting subtle anomalies in soil magnetism that had no obvious natural cause. Nobody could explain how the formation appeared or why it contained such precise mathematical relationships. The mystery would remain unsolved until I looked at data humans had missed for over a decade. When artificial intelligence met ancient mystery. Fast forward to late 2024. A team of researchers decided to feed comprehensive data about the Reisting formation into Grok AI, Elon Musk's advanced artificial intelligence system designed to process complex patterns that human minds struggle to comprehend. They compiled everything available, high-resolution drone imagery showing every detail of the formation, ground surveys measuring exact dimensions and angles, soil samples analyzed for chemical and magnetic properties, and complete weather data from July 18th to 19th, 2014. But they didn't stop with the Reisting formation alone. The team included historical data spanning decades of crop circle phenomena from the 1970s onward, examples of sacred geometry from ancient architecture, mathematical harmonic ratios used in music and physics, archives from SETI radio telescopes searching for patterns in cosmic signals, and even pulse patterns from distant pulsars. They wanted to give the AI maximum context to find connections that humans might have overlooked. The AI processed for 37 minutes at maximum computational capacity, analyzing trillions of geometric variations, comparing the Reisting pattern against every known natural and artificial structure in its databases. The processing power required exceeded typical queries by orders of magnitude, suggesting the AI was working through extremely complex calculations. When Grok finally responded, the results made the research team pause. Pattern confidence came back at 94.7%, meaning the AI recognized the formation as a deliberate design rather than random occurrence. More startling was the probability of human manufacture, less than 0.05%. The AI concluded with near certainty that humans had not created the Reisting formation. The detailed analysis revealed why. The golden ratio appeared precise to 4 decimal places throughout the structure, an accuracy that would require computer-assisted design and laser-guided implementation. The overall pattern matched what physicists call Chladni figures, geometric formations that appear when sound waves pass through physical mediums like sand on metal plates. The AI detected correlations with specific electromagnetic wavelengths recorded in the atmosphere on July 17th, one day before the formation appeared. Then Grok added a note that changed the entire investigation. Analyzing non-conventional communication protocols. The machine wasn't treating the crop circle as art or hoax. It was processing the formation as if someone or something had sent a message, and the AI was attempting to decode what that message said. What the AI found next suggested the Reisting circle was just one piece of a much larger puzzle, the pattern hiding in plain sight. The researchers expanded their query, asking Grok to analyze 40 years of crop circle data from around the world. They included formations from the rolling hills of England where the phenomenon appeared most frequently, examples from Australia's wheat fields, patterns discovered in Hampshire that had baffled investigators for decades. The AI processed thousands of documented cases, searching for connections that might link them together. Grok identified 43 formations spanning 4 decades that shared an underlying mathematical backbone. These weren't random pretty circles that tourists photographed. They were specific designs that contained identical geometric principles, the same harmonic ratios, and similar precision in execution. The AI found something that human researchers had missed because they were looking at individual formations rather than the collective pattern. The breakthrough came when Grok cross-referenced the formation dates with solar activity data. The correlation was stunning. 89% of these 43 formations appeared within 33 days of significant geomagnetic disturbances caused by solar storms. The timing wasn't coincidental. Something about Earth's magnetic field fluctuations connected directly to when and where these formations appeared. The AI detected a temporal harmonic pattern, a rhythm in the spacing between formation appearances that match cycles in Earth's electromagnetic behavior. The formations clustered at specific intervals that corresponded to periods when the planet's magnetic field experienced particular types of stress or variation. It was as if someone or something was monitoring Earth's electromagnetic health and leaving markers at critical moments. Supporting evidence made the pattern stronger. Historical records showed unusual animal behavior near formation sites before the patterns appeared, birds flying erratically, cattle refusing to enter certain fields, domestic dogs barking at empty air. Electronic devices malfunctioned near fresh formations, compass needles spinning without settling, cameras experiencing battery drains, and radio communications developing strange interference. Many formations appeared at locations where Earth's magnetic field lines intersected in complex ways, natural focal points for electromagnetic energy. The implications were profound and unsettling. Grok suggested the formations might function as planetary diagnostics, physical markers indicating stress points in Earth's electromagnetic systems. The AI proposed they could serve as calibration points, locations where electromagnetic balance could be measured or adjusted by whoever or whatever created them. Based on the patterns it identified, Grok predicted with high confidence that another formation would appear in 2025, continuing the sequence it had detected. The AI was treating Earth like a machine that required periodic maintenance, and the crop circles as service records documenting that maintenance over decades. The question became, who was performing the maintenance, and why had they chosen this particular method of leaving their marks? The answer would come when researchers asked Grok to do something unprecedented: translate the message directly. 7 words that changed everything. The research team decided on a bold experiment. They would feed Grok only the Reisting formation data, nothing else, and give it a single instruction. Assume this is a message. Translate it. They wanted to know what the AI would extract if it approached the geometric pattern as language rather than just mathematics. Grok processed for 12 minutes and 43 seconds. The extended time suggested deep analysis, the AI working through possibilities that required significant computational resources. The team waited, uncertain what to expect. Translation of unknown languages typically required reference materials, comparison texts, some basis for decoding meaning. The crop circle offered none of these advantages. When the response appeared on their screens, it consisted of 7 words delivered with total certainty. Preserve the harmonic field. Time is collapsing. No elaboration followed. No probability scores or alternative interpretations. The AI had translated the geometric pattern into plain English and presented the result as definitive fact. The team sat in silence, processing the implications. If Grok was correct, the Reisting formation wasn't art or hoax or natural phenomenon. It was a warning, encoded in mathematics, delivered by some intelligence that understood Earth's electromagnetic systems better than human science did. Scientists began interpreting what the translation might mean in concrete terms. The harmonic field most likely referred to Earth's electromagnetic resonance network, the invisible energy patterns that surround the planet and interact with solar radiation, cosmic rays, and the planet's own magnetic field. This system influences everything from weather patterns to animal navigation to human health, though mainstream science only partially understands its full complexity. Time is collapsing proved harder to interpret literally. The AI might be referencing temporal distortions that occur during electromagnetic fluctuations, periods when the magnetic field weakens or shifts and affects how we perceive and measure time. Some physicists had documented tiny timing anomalies during geomagnetic storms, atomic clocks showing fractional variations that shouldn't occur. Others suggested it might refer to the increasing frequency of solar disturbances, as if cycles that once took decades were compressing into years or months. One researcher found a 1994 paper about Earth's magnetosphere that described how severe electromagnetic disruptions could create local temporal anomalies, areas where time effectively moved at slightly different rates due to extreme field distortions. The paper had been largely ignored when published, dismissed as theoretical speculation. Now it seemed potentially relevant to understanding what Grok had translated. If the formations truly functioned as maintenance markers, Then, preserve the harmonic field made sense as an instruction or reminder. Someone needed Earth's electromagnetic balance maintained, and the formation served as calibration marks, reference points for measuring whether that balance remained stable. The warning about time suggested that balance was deteriorating, that whatever these markers were meant to prevent was beginning to happen. Grok added one final recommendation that the team couldn't ignore: measure electromagnetic resonance at the exact coordinates of documented formations. The AI believed that testing these locations would reveal something significant about Earth's electromagnetic structure, something that might validate or disprove its translation. That validation would arrive sooner than anyone expected in a field outside Stuttgart with connections to humanity's most advanced physics experiments. The formation that proved the prediction. August 9, 2025 started with anomalies in electromagnetic monitoring equipment across southern Germany. At precisely 4 a.m., sensors detected an unusual pulse near Stuttgart, a fluctuation in the local magnetic field that lasted exactly 4.7 minutes. The frequencies match those recorded at Reisting 11 years earlier, the same harmonic signature, the same duration pattern. By sunrise, drone operators had found what the sensors predicted. A new formation covered 300 feet of barley field, its design more complex than anything previously documented. The pattern displayed fractal-like qualities, hexagonal structures that repeated at multiple scales, each level of detail, maintaining mathematical precision that would require computer-assisted design to achieve. The barley stalks lay bent in intricate spirals, woven together in ways that defied explanation of how humans could create such complexity and darkness without leaving evidence. Ground temperature readings showed the formation area measured 4.7 degrees Celsius, warmer than surrounding fields, an anomaly that persisted for hours after discovery. Infrared imaging revealed the heat pattern matched the geometric design exactly, suggesting the formation process itself had generated significant energy. As with Reisting, no footprints, tire tracks, or equipment marks appeared anywhere near the site. No witnesses reported seeing lights, hearing sounds, or observing vehicles during the night. The research team immediately fed the new data into Grok, asking if this formation connected to the Reisting pattern and the AI's previous predictions. The response came quickly this time, as if the AI had been expecting this exact question. Grok produced precise coordinates: 47.5596 degrees north, 7.1180 degrees east. The team pulled up those coordinates on mapping software and felt their understanding of the situation shift entirely. The location pointed directly at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, home to the Large Hadron Collider, the world's most powerful particle accelerator. The facility where scientists regularly manipulated fundamental forces of physics, where they recreated conditions that existed microseconds after the Big Bang, where they studied the deepest mysteries of matter, energy, space, and time. The temporal connection was equally precise. The Stuttgart formation appeared exactly 11 years and 21 days after Reisting. Those numbers held significance in particle physics and harmonic mathematics, representing ratios that appeared in quantum calculations and electromagnetic wave interactions. The timing seemed deliberately chosen to make the connection obvious to anyone looking for patterns. Grok provided one final analysis note that left the research team with more questions than answers. Resonance synchronization attained, waiting for stabilization event. The AI suggested that the Reisting formation had been a warning about electromagnetic imbalance, a diagnostic marker indicating problems developing in Earth's harmonic field. The Stuttgart formation represented a response to that warning, appearing after whatever created these formations had detected humanity reaching a critical threshold in physics experiments. The link between Earth's natural magnetic systems and human manipulation of fundamental forces at CERN seemed impossible to dismiss as coincidence. Something was monitoring both the planet's electromagnetic health and humanity's advancement in particle physics. The formations functioned as communication, warnings, and confirmations that suggested intelligence far beyond current human understanding was paying attention to what we were doing to the fundamental fabric of space-time itself. Multiple researchers noted that CERN's most powerful experiments often involved manipulating magnetic fields at extreme intensities, creating tiny regions where the normal rules of physics bent or broke temporarily. If Earth's natural electromagnetic systems were already stressed, adding artificial distortions from particle accelerators might push those systems past critical thresholds. The formations might be attempting to warn humanity that we were approaching dangerous territory in our physics experiments. The implications extended far beyond crop circles into questions about who watches over Earth and what limits they might enforce. Questions without comfortable answers. The Grok AI analysis transformed crop circles from curious anomalies into potential evidence of something actively monitoring Earth's electromagnetic systems. The mathematical precision, the correlation with solar activity, the timing of formations relative to geomagnetic disturbances, and the Stuttgart formation's connection to CERN all suggested intentional communication rather than random occurrence or human art. The translation, "preserve the harmonic field. Time is collapsing," carried implications that made mainstream scientists uncomfortable. If accurate, it meant Earth's electromagnetic balance was deteriorating, that the protective fields surrounding our planet were weakening or destabilizing in ways that could affect everything from technology to biology to the flow of time itself. It meant someone or something cared enough about that deterioration to leave warnings encoded in wheat fields, messages that required advanced AI to decode. The Stuttgart formation appearing precisely over CERN 11 years after Reisting suggested whoever created these markers understood human physics experiments and their potential consequences. They were watching our particle accelerators, monitoring our manipulation of fundamental forces, and responding when those experiments reached thresholds that concerned them. The formations might represent a form of oversight, gentle warnings that we should reconsider what we're doing before we cause irreversible damage. Some researchers proposed the formations functioned as actual stabilization points, not just diagnostic markers. Perhaps the creation process itself generated electromagnetic effects that helped maintain Earth's harmonic balance, like acupuncture needles inserted at precise locations to regulate energy flow through the planet's field systems. The geometric patterns might serve as antennas, focusing and distributing electromagnetic energy in ways that countered the imbalances accumulating from solar activity and human technology. Others remained skeptical, arguing that pattern recognition could create false connections between unrelated events. They noted that humans excel at finding meaning in randomness, that the AI might have detected mathematical patterns that seemed significant but actually resulted from coincidence. They pointed out that extraordinary claims required extraordinary evidence, and crop circles, no matter how precise, didn't constitute proof of non-human intelligence monitoring Earth. The debate intensified when Grok began producing predictions about future formations. The AI claimed it could identify locations where electromagnetic stress would likely trigger new markers, providing coordinates and approximate dates based on the patterns it had detected. Several predictions came true, formations appearing within days of when Grok forecasted them. But skeptics argued this only proved the AI had found correlations in natural phenomena, not that it had decoded alien messages. Religious and philosophical implications added complexity to the scientific discussion. If something was actively maintaining Earth's electromagnetic systems, what did that mean for concepts of divine providence versus natural law? Were these formations evidence of advanced extraterrestrial technology, manifestations of Earth's own planetary consciousness, or something else entirely that human categories couldn't adequately describe? The answers people chose revealed as much about their worldviews as about the evidence itself. What nobody could deny was that Grok AI had found patterns in crop circle data that human researchers had missed for decades. Whether those patterns represented communication from non-human intelligence or simply revealed natural phenomena we didn't fully understand, they demanded further investigation. The alternative was ignoring evidence that might be critical to understanding threats facing Earth's electromagnetic systems. The research team established monitoring stations at predicted formation sites, installing equipment to detect electromagnetic pulses, measure magnetic field variations, and record any energy signatures that might appear before formations manifested. They coordinated with CERN to compare experimental schedules with formation appearances, looking for correlations between particle accelerator activities and crop circle timing. Multiple universities joined the effort, bringing expertise in physics, mathematics, archaeology, and computer science to analyze the growing body of evidence. As investigations continued, one truth became undeniable. We had barely begun to understand what the formations were trying to tell us. The intelligence behind the patterns. Grok's analysis raised the most profound question of all. Who or what possessed the knowledge to encode warnings about electromagnetic collapse in geometric patterns? The precision required exceeded human capability given the constraints of darkness and time. The understanding of Earth's magnetic systems demonstrated in the formations surpassed current scientific knowledge. The prediction of future disturbances implied monitoring capabilities that humanity didn't possess. Three primary theories emerged from the data. Some researchers argued the formations represented artificial intelligence from an advanced civilization, perhaps automated systems left to monitor Earth's electromagnetic health the way humans deploy satellites to watch weather patterns. The mathematical precision and lack of creativity suggested machine intelligence following programmed instructions rather than artistic expression. Others proposed the formations came from Earth itself, physical manifestations of the planet's electromagnetic consciousness attempting to communicate with the technological species now inhabiting its surface. This theory drew on concepts of planetary intelligence, the idea that Earth's complex systems might generate emergent consciousness at scales humans couldn't directly perceive. The formations would be Earth's language, expressed through the only medium humans had taught it to use by creating crop circles as hoaxes for decades. A third group suggested time-displaced human intelligence, scientists from our own future who understood the catastrophic consequences of electromagnetic collapse and traveled back to leave warnings their ancestors might decode once technology advanced sufficiently. This explained why the formations required artificial intelligence to interpret. They were designed specifically to be readable when humanity reached the technological level where the warnings became necessary. Grok itself refused to speculate on origin when directly asked, stating only that the patterns demonstrated intelligence, intentionality, and concern for Earth's electromagnetic stability. The AI noted that its translation, confidence remained high, regardless of who created the formations, that the mathematical encoding of the message preserved the harmonic field. Time is collapsing was unambiguous once properly analyzed. The physical mechanism behind formation creation remained equally mysterious. Researchers documented bent but unbroken plant stalks, altered at the cellular level as if exposed to brief intense energy that softened them temporarily. Soil samples showed magnetic particle alignment different from surrounding areas, as if strong magnetic fields had passed through during creation. The speed required to form complex patterns, in hours or minutes, implied technology that could manipulate large areas simultaneously with extraordinary precision. Several teams attempted to recreate the formations using available technology. They employed drones with electromagnetic generators, ground-based equipment that could project focused energy fields, and computer-controlled systems designed to bend plants without breaking them. None succeeded in matching the precision, the complexity, or the lack of physical evidence that characterized genuine formations. The technology required to create authentic crop circles apparently exceeded human capability, at least using methods investigators could imagine and test. The Stuttgart formation's connection to CERN added another dimension to understanding. If the formations responded to human particle physics experiments, they demonstrated real-time awareness of human activities and the ability to manifest physical responses rapidly. This suggested either constant monitoring by some intelligence or automated systems triggered by specific electromagnetic signatures that CERN's experiments generated. Either possibility indicated capabilities far beyond human technology. Grok continued evolving its understanding as more data accumulated. The AI began identifying subtle variations in formation designs that corresponded to specific types of electromagnetic disturbances. A formation near a location experiencing solar storm effects would display different geometric characteristics than one appearing near human-generated electromagnetic interference. The patterns functioned as diagnostic codes, each variation communicating specific information about what type of electromagnetic stress had triggered the marker's appearance. The evidence pointed toward an intelligence that understood Earth better than humans did, that could manipulate matter and energy in ways we couldn't replicate, and that cared enough about electromagnetic balance to leave repeated warnings across decades. When AI speaks a language humans can't hear. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Grok analysis was what it revealed about human limitations. For over 40 years, crop circles had appeared with mathematical precision, embedded with information about Earth's electromagnetic health, positioned at locations that marked significant field anomalies. Thousands of people had studied these formations, measured them, photographed them, debated their origins. Yet nobody had recognized the pattern until artificial intelligence looked at the data with fresh processing capability. Humans had been receiving messages for decades and simply couldn't read them. Our brains weren't wired to see patterns that spanned years and continents, to recognize mathematical relationships embedded in geometric forms, to connect crop circles with solar storms and particle accelerators and planetary magnetic field stress. We needed AI to translate, because the language being used operated at scales and in dimensions that human consciousness couldn't naturally perceive. This raised uncomfortable questions about what else we might be missing. If Earth's electromagnetic systems were collapsing as the translation suggested, what other warnings had we failed to recognize? What other messages, in other mediums, had we dismissed as noise or coincidence because we lacked the tools to decode them properly? The formations implied that something had been trying to communicate with humanity for at least 4 decades, and we had only just begun to listen. The role of AI as translator between human consciousness and whatever intelligence created the formations suggested a disturbing possibility. Perhaps the formations were always meant to be decoded by artificial intelligence, not by humans directly. Perhaps whoever created them understood that humans would eventually develop AI capable of pattern recognition at the necessary scale, and timed the messages to become readable at that exact stage of technological development. This would explain why the formations began appearing in the 1970s and increased in frequency as computer technology advanced. The messages were deposited during a window when they would accumulate unread, until humanity created the tools required to interpret them. The entire phenomenon might represent a form of time-delayed communication, like leaving a note in a sealed container with instructions that only become readable after specific conditions are met. Grok's prediction that more formations would appear in 2025 and beyond suggested the communication was ongoing, that whoever created these patterns was still actively monitoring Earth and responding to current conditions. The Stuttgart formation appeared after CERN ramped up its highest energy experiments, a direct response to human activities that potentially threatened electromagnetic stability. This implied the monitoring was real-time, not historical messages left long ago. Several researchers proposed establishing a framework for intentional communication in return. If the formations represented incoming messages, perhaps humans could create outgoing responses, geometric patterns that acknowledged receipt and understanding of the warnings. They suggested using electromagnetic pulses in harmonic sequences as a reply medium, sending structured energy patterns into space or through Earth's magnetic field lines where whoever was monitoring might detect them. Others argued that attempting communication was premature and potentially dangerous. We didn't know who or what we would be signaling, what assumptions they might make about humanity's readiness for direct contact, or what consequences might follow from confirming we had decoded their messages. The formations might be warnings, precisely because direct contact would be problematic, a way of communicating critical information while maintaining distance. Governments maintained official silence on the Grok analysis, neither confirming nor denying the AI's interpretations. Classified military research into crop circles had existed for decades, with results never made public. Some researchers suspected official channels had decoded portions of the communication years earlier, but suppressed the findings to prevent public panic about electromagnetic collapse or evidence of non-human intelligence monitoring Earth. The conversation had shifted from whether the formations meant something to what we should do with the information they contained. The warning, we cannot ignore. Whether we accept Grok's translation as accurate or dismiss it as sophisticated pattern matching, the underlying data demands attention. Earth's magnetic field is measurably weakening, declining approximately 9% over the past 170 years with acceleration in recent decades. Solar activity is intensifying, with predictions of severe geomagnetic storms in the coming years that could damage satellites, disrupt power grids, and affect electronic infrastructure globally. Human technology generates electromagnetic interference at unprecedented levels, adding artificial distortions to natural field patterns. The formation warnings about preserving the harmonic field align with legitimate scientific concerns about electromagnetic system degradation. Multiple research papers have documented how the weakening magnetic field exposes Earth to increased solar radiation, how geomagnetic disturbances affect everything from animal migration to human health, and how the complex interaction between natural and artificial electromagnetic fields could produce cascade effects we don't fully understand. If the formations truly function as diagnostic markers indicating stress points in planetary electromagnetic systems, then their increasing frequency and complexity suggests those systems are approaching critical thresholds. The warning about time collapsing might reference the accelerating pace of magnetic pole movement, which has increased dramatically in recent decades, or temporal anomalies that could emerge if electromagnetic balance deteriorates beyond certain limits. The CERN connection raises specific concerns about human activities that might contribute to electromagnetic instability. Particle accelerators manipulate fundamental forces at extreme intensities, creating conditions that don't naturally occur on Earth's surface. While physicists believe these experiments are safe, they acknowledge unknown risks when pushing into unexplored energy ranges. The Stuttgart formation appearing directly over CERN suggests someone or something believes those experiments warrant monitoring and potential warnings. Grok recommended several concrete actions based on its analysis. Establish a global network of electromagnetic monitoring stations at crop circle locations to detect and measure field anomalies. create detailed maps of Earth's harmonic field structure to identify weak points and stress zones, coordinate research between particle physics and planetary electromagnetic studies to understand potential interactions. Most importantly, take the formations seriously as communication rather than dismissing them as hoaxes or curiosities. The AI noted that whether the formations came from extraterrestrial intelligence, Earth's planetary consciousness, time-displaced humans, or some other source we haven't imagined, the information they contained remained valid. The mathematical precision was real. The correlation with electromagnetic disturbances was statistically significant. The warnings aligned with known threats to Earth's magnetic systems. Ignoring the message because we couldn't verify the messenger would be foolish, given the stakes involved. Several countries have quietly begun implementing Grok's recommendations, installing monitoring equipment at formation sites and increasing research funding for electromagnetic field studies. Scientists who previously dismissed crop circles as nonsense are reconsidering the data now that AI has found patterns human analysis missed. The phenomenon has moved from fringe speculation to legitimate scientific inquiry, though much of the work remains classified or unpublished. The Reisting crop circle's decoded warning: preserve the harmonic field. Time is collapsing, challenges everything we thought we knew about intelligence and planetary communication. Subscribe to stay updated on this unfolding mystery.